Alright, hey guys, Outdoor Enthusiast 88 here again, and this is actually not a revolver. It's actually an Umarex Legends P08 blowback replica of a German or really any 9mm Luger, and it works really well for things like playing in the backyard. Of course, it's a BB gun, so it just shoots BBs, copper, steel, and it works really well, and it runs off of CO2. So, thought I'd take that out. I did a full review on this a while back. Take a look at that if you're interested. But what I have for you guys today is a review on a Taurus Model 85 38 Special in stainless. Now what I'm going to do today is actually clean it. I picked this up a little while ago when the Taurus was running a rebate, and it has not been cleaned ever since. And it's important to clean these old wheel guns because they do get really grimy, and they're a little different than semi-automatics in the fact that the cylinder is some of the dirtiest parts of this actual gun. So you have to really keep it clean, otherwise things like the plunger here, the ejector rod, will get sticky. So let's take it inside and I'll show you guys how to clean this and how it kind of differs from semi-automatics in the way you do clean it. Alright, so I have in front of me my Taurus Model 85 revolver in 38 Special. It's a stainless steel, so it shows kind of the crud a lot more than some of the other finishes you might see, but you can see that it is still nice and dirty. That's all supposed to be kind of a stainless steel color, and a lot of the dirt from revolvers kind of comes out on the sides, so you can kind of see when it is dirty, which is different than semi-automatics. And in a lot of ways, a revolver is easier than a semi-automatic to clean, but in some ways it has some very key differences on how you clean it. So for example, you have here another popular concealed carry option, the Ruger LCP2. Let's make sure it's unloaded. I've been carrying this for quite a bit. It's an interesting kind of snappy little pocket pistol, which is interesting to say the least, but definitely not something you're going to shoot 100 rounds in a row in the range and have fun doing it. Just the way it's designed and how thin it is and how small it is in your hand. I have done a few reviews on this if you guys want to check that out. But you can see that a actual semi-automatic, and most of them about the same. This one, it has a barrel. This is in there right there. You got a barrel. You have a chamber in there, as well as all the internals. You have a slide, and you have all the rails, usually on the polymer, so there's a metal insert in there, and of course you have all your internals in there. You can clean the polymer as much as you want as well. But with a revolver, you have one barrel, of course, but a lot of what you see is what you get. I mean, there's some internals behind the grip here, and there's some internals in the frame, but really those aren't the parts that get dirty on a revolver. It's really the cylinder, which is basically 5 or more barrels essentially, without the rifling. So it's something you have to clean with a brush or a pull through. So we're going to go through and clean this, and I'm going to show you guys some of the ways that I've seen that work really well. So let's talk about what you're going to need to actually get this cleaning job done. First off, of course, you need a dirtied up revolver. You need a bunch of cotton pads or cloth strips, something that is not real flaky, that's going to leave a bunch of residue or debris behind when you wipe things. You can see sometimes these kind of flake a little bit, but they are made of cotton, so that's something that's not like anything like paper towels or things like that that's really going to leave a lot of crud in there from the paper towels themselves. You're going to need a cleaning kit. So I pulled one of these aluminum rods here along with some of the pieces. This is actually a 9mm brush. It's a copper brush wire right here. And you can see that 9mm is very similar to the size of 38 Special. So a 9mm brush should work just fine. You can also go and get the polymer ones. They also have polymer ones that work. And then sometimes even say right there, 9mm slash like 380 slash 38 Special. So there's multi-caliber brushes as well, and of course it comes with the rod. You can get these kits, look kind of like this. I've had that for quite a long time. Bunch of stuff in there. You can also grab these pull-through bore snakes, and this one is actually a 223. But with revolvers, you don't usually have to have this. I mean, it's a very short barrel, and you don't have a lot of space to work with where the cylinder is to actually clean the barrel. You're going to need maybe like a brush, like a toothbrush, really get in there and clean it up nice. And of course you're going to need a couple of different kinds of oils, and it's really up to you how you want to do this. This is a little portion of a CLP. You can get the big version, the big bottle of the CLP. This works really well for almost all purposes. And then you also have, I have the Hops number 9 here. I might use this if the CLP doesn't help to work on this very good. This stuff's a lot more powerful in terms of cleaning out the bore, getting all this black stuff off pretty easily. One more thing you can actually do grab yourself some of these shop towels, and I'll show you why, because what we're gonna do is actually take the CLP to start. I like to use this just because it doesn't bother your skin. You don't have to wear gloves as much, and it's actually seems to work really well to get some of the stuff off. And like I said, I kind of went away from the hops because it's so potent, so strong that you don't need it, but it's something you can use if it really needs to get clean. So what I'm gonna do, and this is what I've seen done by a bunch of YouTubers and a lot of my buddies do it the same way, is you're gonna go ahead, open this up, make some room, clean up your area a little bit, take the CLP, little spray bottle, just go ahead and spray it down. Now the reason you're doing this is because it's a good way to start the process for cleaning the gun itself. So you can see all this stuff, all right in there. You're gonna wanna have it kind of start to soak for a little bit, okay? Because it has all this crap on it that has just been burnt on there. All right, so now go ahead, let it soak, and just kind of work on getting the crud kind of loosened up before you start using, 4 dozen cotton swab pads there. So let it soak for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so it's been a few minutes. I let this soak a little bit. It's already starting to get some of the grime off of there, and I did forget to kind of spray into the barrel. You want to spray in the barrel a little bit, get that kind of loosened up a little bit. And now what you can actually do is, and this helps a lot, just grab one of these shop towels, and this is a high concentrated towel. So what you can actually do now is wipe as much off as you can with this, and it's going to help save you see all that stuff coming off already, it's going to help save you a lot of cotton swabs. And it's just one piece. I've actually seen people use paper towels on the cylinder only. I don't know if I would recommend that or not. I haven't seen if there's any problems with that. I'm sure there might be with any particles that's stuck in there. But go ahead and use one of these shop towels. It's going to start the process off really well, and you can see all this stuff's already cleaning off really nicely. So just go ahead, work it in, use maybe 1, maybe 2 towels. Get in there, clean it up nice, and then we'll start working on the barrel. All right, so now that you used up your towel, you can actually go ahead and grab your little brush here. Probably get a little bit of more oil on the brush, and go ahead and start working it around. Okay, now these brushes, of course, you can get like a pack of 10 for $1 for the cheap ones. You're gonna wanna work around, loosen up some more stuff in there. Watch out for any kind of stray brush pieces that get stuck in there. But all the little pieces you can't get that were the initial paper towel, go ahead and start cleaning off. You see it's kind of getting dirty there. This right here, the plunger here, the ejector rod, is one of the hardest parts to clean, and is also one of the most important parts, because what happens is it actually gets stuck. So you want to make sure that it's very clean and actually functions as it should, because this rod, if it doesn't eject and gets stuck here, you're gonna have problems with reloading and unloading any empty shells. And you do note that you will have burn marks right here occasionally, and those will not go away. But you can see how much cleaner it was. Definitely night and day so far. All right, so once you're happy with the toothbrush work, kind of loosening things up, getting all little cracks, anything you kind of think that might be hard to get with your fingers with just a cotton swab, then you can actually rinse this out if you want. You can leave it as is and use it for next time. They last a few cleanings per toothbrush, so it's a pretty good budget option to actually use for things like that. Go ahead and start grabbing some of these cotton swabs, and you actually can see that I have not needed that hops number 9 yet. The CLP has worked just fine. Now I don't know how the barrel is going to look, but if it's like any other barrel in a semi-automatic or any other firearm that I've cleaned in the last, ever since I've been cleaning firearms, that it's going to clean up just fine with that CLP anyways. But see, you have a little bit left to clean there. Go ahead and get in there. Get around the base, so you can see there's some crud in the base there. Just kind of use your fingers. Get in there, let it spin. Anything that the toothbrush loosened up, you kind of want to mop up at this point. All right. Get in here. can actually go ahead and use, you can use one of these things or use the back end of your brush for the bore brush there, or the barrel brush. You can actually go and use that if you want to kind of help guide it in some of the spots. They also make little picks you can use to help clean it up, little plastic picks that I've used before. Sometimes you can use like the end of a Q-tip or something like that. I wouldn't really recommend using a Q-tip on the firearm itself. Not only would it be ineffective because it's a very small part of piece of cotton on the end, but you can actually get the stray pieces to kind of get stuck in the internals, and you don't want that. But again, it's all kind of user's choice and how you want to set this up. But the cleaner you get this, the better off you will be, because the revolver will last a lot longer and all the parts will function as you need. So get in there. Another thing you could do is you can take this, take a brush, put this on the brush, and kind of get in there with it. See all the pieces that you couldn't get before with just your fingers? Go ahead and move that pad around in the end and get what you can. That's something that works really well. See, all that's cleaning up. Now there is a bunch of stuff around the barrel. Now a lot of that won't come off. It's actually part of the burn marks, the forcing cone right here, because you can see how the revolver actually works is that the cylinders line right up to it. So some of the burn marks are going to be around the side of that forcing cone, as well as just underneath it, like you see right there. A lot of that might not actually come off, so don't worry about it. I mean, it's just the way that a revolver is designed and how it shoots. But you can definitely get in there, try to get some of that off, scrub with your fingernails, or like I said, you can get one of those picks, maybe that helps a little bit. It's tough to get. The hardest part is probably up here above the forcing cone. You can see that there's actually some gunk right up in there, if I can get a good light on it. So you can see it's kind of, there's a little space up there. It's not too bad, but try to get as much as you can. All right, so next up, go ahead, you can start with a cotton swab here. Grab your cleaning rod. Go ahead and grab a little cotton swab, some CLP. Go ahead and run it through. And I would probably just start with the cylinders here. Kind of go in and out. Kind of get the initial grime off of there. Go ahead, and unfortunately you kind of have to go front to back here with this one, just the way it's designed. And that's actually already cleaning up really nicely, just the swab itself. You go ahead and twist it around. Get a good suction on there, look at that, that's good, looking good. So now go ahead and I would say maybe take your brush just to help. And again, this depends on how deep of a clean you want. But go ahead, take your brush, maybe spray a little more CLP on there, just a tad. Go ahead, run it through. You can see there's some crud coming out the back. You just want to make sure it looks shiny. Look at that. Nice and shiny. Some burn marks on the end there. So now, unfortunately, you got to go through here. So that does suck, but come out the other side. But again, it's soft enough brush where you shouldn't have to worry about it. Just be careful, go slow. Try not to scrape the barrel or jam that rod straight back into any one of these pieces back here that might hurt it in any way. You can see it spins both ways. It'll spin coming out and it'll spin going in. All right, so grab another one of these. We're doing pretty good. Haven't used too many of the cotton swabs yet. I'll say just run it dry this time. Grab one of these. Run it through, look at all that stuff loosened up. Spin it around. Spin it around. Hit it again. A little bit of oil on this time. And just keep doing this process. Now that you've used the brush, you really don't have to use the brush a couple of times on the cylinders as well as the barrel. So I'm gonna keep doing the barrel right now. So just go and push fresh pads through it. Try to spin them, get them kind of in the grooves there, in the rifling, and then pull them back out. Put a little bit of oil on every other one, and then kind of run them dry and see if you can get it to clean up. So let's keep doing that, and we'll move on to the cylinder. All right, so now that the barrel is coming out relatively clean, go ahead and move over to the cylinders. Now the cylinders are much smoother than the rifling, okay? So just go through each one of these, go forward and back and forth, kind of clean each one. Shouldn't take too much effort. You can see they're definitely dirty, but that brush loosened up really well. You already got oil in there from the brush. It's good to keep everything oiled up pretty good as well. You don't want to have any problems. Any stuck casings or anything like that. Oil might help with that. Go ahead, throw one on with a little bit of oil in it. This might be the last one with the cylinder on it, so just a few through there. And the barrel probably took about half a dozen to go in and out, alternating between oil and dry. But these cylinders, you know, unless you want them like really sparkly clean, this might do the trick right here. And again, be careful. I mean, even if this rod is designed not to scrape anything, with your cleaning kit, just be careful when you're using them. You don't want to hurt anything. Alright, so I think that's pretty good. So go ahead and take a fresh cleaning pad like this. Go ahead and hit everything one more time. Kind of see what you're missing. Because I mean, you have like little things in there. You can see like that. All these little pieces here might have some gunk in there. But the toothbrush should have taken care of that. Go ahead, try to get these little grooves a little bit where it catches to rotate the cylinder. Of course, you sprayed this down, so go ahead, get in there, clean everything up. Go ahead, pull the hammer back, clean anything you see that's kind of astray in there. Get on the other side. You can get the crowning part right here, the barrel crown. Get that. Of course, that's going to have some burn marks as well. It's kind of hard to see if it's going to focus on camera. See that little burn marks on there. Get your sight picture cleaned up. But overall, this has been a great shooter. I mean, I've done a few reviews on this in the past, on this particular revolver, if you want to check those out. But it's done really well. And you can see back here, the cool part is, unlike the striker-fired guns, like a semi-automatic, this part of the hammer back here just doesn't get that dirty. So that's a good part to help kind of make sure you don't have any kind of gunk problems back here. But go ahead and run a rag down there if you want to, run a pick down there, clean it up back here. But usually you're not going to see much dirt back there. So this is looking really good. So that looks good. Plunger's nice and smooth as a Taurus is going to be. Cylinder spins well. So I think we're good to go, guys. Oh, and actually, check the barrel real quick. See if I can get it on camera. That looks really good, nice and shiny. So I think we're good to go. Of course, the burn marks on here, like I said, don't matter too much, so don't have to worry about those. But overall, this is about it, guys. So this should work with almost any revolver, especially these thumb noses. I mean, they're pretty, you know, there's less real estate to clean. They're kind of small, so obviously a bigger revolver is going to have a little bit longer barrel, a little bit longer cylinder, maybe some more parts to clean. But overall, this should work for almost any revolver. Alright guys, well hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, let me know if you have any questions below or suggestions. I'm glad to take them, and see you in the next review.